The most important thing is your wages. There's an 11x markup and no one's saying anything. If there's an 11x markup on meat, there will be a revolution in the United States. If there is an 11x markup on eggs, there will be a revolution in the whole world.
Hello everyone, my name is Nico Simko. I'm one of the co-founders and the CEO of Clair. Today I'm super excited to have Simon Khalaf here with me. Simon is board member and COO at WorkWhile. He previously was also the CEO of the publicly traded company Marqeta. Simon is one of the brightest minds when it comes to the future of not only payments and the impact that payments can have for the prosperity of America's consumers, but also with his work at WorkWhile, the technology that businesses and businesses' evolution, especially in the world of AI, are taking on to create a much more stable and prosperous life for America's consumers. So with that, Simon, welcome to HR Tech Trailblazers.
Nico, thank you so much for having me. When you said one of the brightest minds, I thought you were talking about yourself.
No.
Because you set the expectation way too high. I accept the challenge and I'm very happy to be here. Your passion towards the American worker comes out. And I share that passion. I share it violently, and I'm so happy with having this discussion.
Amazing. Well, Simon, maybe let's start here. First of all, I really appreciate that. Tell me about your passion for America's workforce.
I always think of opportunities, right? I mean, if I look at the last 40 years, all administrations, I'm not talking any sides here, have focused on a services economy. We build this model in which all the hard work is done somewhere else. Yeah. And we benefit and we rise just from a services economy. That's not the case.
Yeah.
When have we built something you can touch versus buy something and sell it for 10 basis points higher? That's flawed. We've created a 98% have not. And all the products, all the innovations have been for the 2% that have. You've got 90% of the US population paying more in debt service than they're paying in federal income taxes.
Wow.
We're working for the 98%. Fintech is kind of like a code name for the underbanked. It's kind of technology to reduce risk. Send it as close to zero as possible. If the denominator is zero, doesn't matter what the numerator is, it's infinity. The opportunity becomes infinite. So that's what the core of fintech is all about. Right? Neo-banking, buy now, pay later, earned wage access. All of them are great construct for the 98%. But I realized last year, we're kind of looking at the opportunity at the tail end. So I first thought that the financial services is where all technology need to go. But I looked at the top of the funnel, which is employment. And I looked at it, I said, oh my God, the hottest product in employment, which is performance reviews, are 170 years old. And the oldest product still being used, which is Payroll, is 4,900 years old in Mesopotamia, which is on a clay tablet. You go presented when the beer brews. Yeah. And that happened to be 2 weeks. So the only thing we have done is taken a clay tablet and generated a PDF. That has been the innovation in employment. So let's fix that and embed financial services, which is exactly what you've done, Nico, and we'll build a massive, beautiful environment there.
I love that. For those people who don't know what WorkWhile does, what does it do? Tell me maybe the essence of the company and maybe the vision of where the company needs to go.
So WorkWhile, we are an AI-first labor platform. Believe it or not, we were AI before AI was cool. The company was embarrassed to say we're AI because everybody thought AI was a waste of money.
Yeah.
So we actually called it machine learning. It's a platform to match workers with employers. So our concept, our belief that in 2 decades, employment as a construct will disappear. But on a daily basis, you have an agent that's negotiating the best of what you can get in terms of job, in terms of pay, in terms of location. And then we eliminate all the waste in employment, from payroll to performance management, and take all the waste out, which is 30% of every dollar made is going into waste. We eliminate it, we create the most efficient labor marketplace, very similar to the US equity markets, in which buyers and sellers are interacting and the intermediary is not making any money in basis points, not even 1 basis point, but it works beautifully.
Yeah.
So employment, that's what WorkWhile does. But I mean, the mission of the company is to be workers first. It doesn't mean that the employer is going to be screwed. Absolutely not, right? On the contrary, I believe in a two-sided marketplace. When humans are involved, there is a win-win-win situation. And that's what we're doing.
And what are the industries where you've seen the early adopters and the growth, and what are the like next frontiers? Because you always have in every market early adopters,
correct,
and then you have the full-ons.
I would say, being a startup, you have to focus, right? Number one, I believe speed and focus are the only two products that startups have. Everything else is a feature. With that mentality, the founder, our CEO, Jar, focus on the industries that have high attrition rate. So event management, retail, warehousing, 3PL, logistics, driving, all of these are above 100% attrition per year. So it doesn't make sense to hire. And industry where absenteeism is high, as in people just don't show up to work for many, many reasons. We are growing very fast in hospitality, event management, security, so on and so forth. I don't believe we'll step into more industries in 26. Honestly, we have our hands full and the growth is insane. As I shared with you, and I put it in public, we're growing 10% month over month. So our ability to manage the growth, we have to remain focused on this industry.
If I think about the worker and some of the thesis, that you and I often discuss, which is technology can really better serve workers, and especially bringing financial products to the workplace is good. What are you seeing as the simplest things that you're building at WorkWhile that are really helping create that kind of easier ability for employers to hire those employees, then are happy with the product, and then like come back, keep using it, and then you create this new form of the economy?
Sure. I go back to prosperity. What is the definition of prosperity?
Yeah.
One is you don't have to worry about making ends meet. Great. The folks that have made it have a wealth manager, they have an agent that negotiates the job for them, and they have somebody monitoring their health, call it a primary doctor. You take all three and you say, that's my job, that's WorkWhile's job, is to have an agent, call it AI, call it whatever you want, who's negotiating on your behalf every day the best job in which you're going to excel at the best pay that will pay daily, and at the same time stops you from getting into trouble, which is hundreds % APR, and at the same time make sure you're healthy.
Yeah.
And look, we all have bad days. We all have bad days. There's a day you wake up, you have a killing headache, you have to take your kids to school, and one of them has 102 fever. We have the luxury not to go to work.
Yeah.
But somebody who's a barista or a store manager has to, take a kid who's sick, and they're right to go to work. And if they don't show up, they get dinged. 3 strikes and you're out. Why? Like, everybody has a bad day. So WorkWhile understands that. We use systems to predict that this person may not come to work, so we buffer, we send somebody else on our own nickel. It's okay. We're investing in that worker because that worker will be very happy. They'll come and work for us every day.
So almost
that's what we're
reading it back to you, what basically you're saying is like, look, you're going to bet that the right talent is going to want to have what, the wealthy people have in this country, offer them that platform. In return, you have a dedicated workforce.
Of course.
And that in turn allows you to have a very competitive offering to businesses that have super high turnover.
Absolutely. So this is for the worker. Now, what do we give the companies? We have zero absenteeism. Everybody shows up to work because it's not everybody. You come to work or you say, I want somebody to come from 8 to 5, who's a line cook, who knows how to handle a crowd, and at the same time can dress up nicely, has the right skill and certification, has passed the security audit. That's all they ask for. And then our engine behind the scene does all the AI fun stuff, finds the right person, but also every few seconds or minutes computes the probability that this person is going to show up or not. Well, imagine doing this for 19,000 people. It's hard. There's no overhead, which is HR. We have zero. We incur the cost. We have machines that are interviewing the human. We have 1.2 million people recruited on our platform, not a single human involved in the interview process. You have machines that look at 200 dimensions that are understanding your skill set and comparing it and classifying it and deploying it to the right job. And then performance management, it's done daily. And then, near and dear to our hearts, we pay people immediately. Why am I, as the employer or the person who has the contract relationship with the workers, why should I shaft them for 2 weeks of working capital when my cost is 50 basis points or 5% annually, and they have to go take it at 100% APR and 200% APR and 65% APR? Why? Think about it. I have a cost that is 5%. That somebody is selling to my workers for 65%. That's an 11x markup. Come on. If there's an 11x markup on meat, there will be a revolution in the United States. If there is an 11x markup on eggs, there will be a revolution in the whole world. So the most important thing is your wages. There's an 11x markup and no one's saying anything. And everybody thinks it's normal. I mean, thank God for earned wage access players like Clair. At least you're offering something, right? But every employer, in my opinion, should pay for something like Clair, not the employee. Right? I mean, you're offering free gym memberships. These people can't even go to the gym. We are the wealthiest nation in the world, and 70% of our population, 70% of US households lives paycheck to paycheck. They're actually not living paycheck to paycheck. That's even a fallacy. They're borrowing to live paycheck to paycheck.
No, and like, there is a vision here that I fundamentally agree with, which is I would love nothing more than for Clair's product to be fundamentally free and the person who pays is the employer. I would love nothing more. The thing is, and I think that's what you guys are doing at WorkWhile, is that the value add of the entire experience is not strong enough for them to sponsor it. So I think this is what you guys are trying to do at WorkWhile, which is, well, actually, we're going to make it powerful enough that you're going to want to pay for this. Because the absenteeism, the fact that we get all of these things in, the price of an advance on pay is nothing compared to your business. And that way we can get top talent.
Yes, absolutely. I'll give you an example. I always look at, COVID sent people home, right? And you see that insane real estate not being used. Okay? There's not a single employer in the United States that charges the employee to come to work and take a seat. I mean, here, I'm looking at office space in New York City. Right now, it's about $1,000 per seat per year. Guess what? Earned wage access is cheaper. I would rather charge the employee $20 to come and cost the seat than giving them their wages early. It's like, something's not adding up here, right? That's what I believe. Cultural changes are very hard to change. But once they change, you have escape velocity. Give you an example. Payroll is a 4,700-year construct, right? I mean, you're talking older than the 3 monotheistic religions, right? It's older. So it's ingrained in people's mind, right? I mean, I get paid, payroll. When I get my money, I go pay my bills. So it's ingrained. But as I compare other cultural changes, I think you and I talked a little bit about that. I look at the institution of marriage. In 2000 or 2001, I stood up and I asked the crowd, what percentage of the US population gets married because of algorithmic matching? I didn't call it AI then. People laughed at me. I said, this guy is crazy. I don't know what he's talking about. I said 0.017% of the US population, which is online dating, right? You fast forward to 2024, 53% of the US population got married because of algorithmic matching. And guess what? The rate of divorces went down 28%. It's not because divorce attorneys got cheaper. No, it is because the algorithm is much, much smarter than the human in picking the right features that will make two individuals compatible. I mean, you go to a bar and you want to meet a partner, you only look at 6 or 7 features. Right. The algorithm looks at 300 features.
Yeah.
So it has a better ability. The second thing, the beauty here is with WorkWhile, not only do we match you, right? This is not a one time. I'm going with you on the date and home and with your children because we're going with you to work. We're upskilling you. One of the very few companies in the world that labor is revenue, not cost.
Yeah.
Right? The better you are, the more committed you are, the more skills you have. I believe that I shouldn't charge you for it. It's an investment in you because that's how we make our money. So it's kind of the ultimate universal capitalism. You invest in people.
And I think like if, just pushing on your idea, the reality is like we've lived in a world where we had to provide our own intelligence to machines for them to be able to be operational. So machines were dumb. Now, the reality is over time, machines are going to get a little smarter. So the competition for talent is going to be harder because you're going to have a competition on talent. So the people who can attract the best talent, companies will pay a premium for it.
Of course.
And so maybe that's the question to you is like, when you fast track and you go out like, 10, 15 years from now, and we live a little bit, I don't know if we're going to get to AGI, but like machines are smarter because they're getting smarter, pretty quickly. Have you guys started to think about this world where
there's no
skilled workers, exactly, like skilled workers are now really like a rare breed that people look for and you can compete. Talk to me a little bit how WorkWhile comes in.
I mean, I always think of artisanship. There's 1 million people who can draw a yellow circle, a smiley face, and 2 dots. But how many Mona Lisas are there? One, it's in the Louvre and you can barely see it, right? Leonardo da Vinci is an artisan, one of a kind. But every human out of 7 billion has a skill that has not been discovered. Okay? Am I afraid of AI? Absolutely not. AI is going to kill all jobs. I agree with Vinod Khosla, our investor, and Elon Musk. But AI is going to generate a lot more jobs than it's going to kill. I wish everybody grabs a history book and not be scared. The Industrial Revolution in the United Kingdom, in England, the number of people working in manufacturing pre-industrial revolution was X.
Yeah.
After was 20% higher. When the sewing machine was invented, more seamstresses were created than less. The jobs are going to expand, right? To the point where the mundane stuff that slow you down is going to be done by a machine. You look at coding. I mean, I started working in the Unix kernel. I had a hardware debugger. I wrote in assembly, okay? When I started using C++ or C, right? I'm like, oh my God, every programmer is going to disappear. So I'm not going to reveal my age, but that was 30 years ago, right? Tell me, how many software developers disappeared the last 30 years? None. I just focus on the stuff to build applications versus trying to optimize memory. And you take it across the world and the globe and civilization. You visit, I mean, you can tell from my accent, I'm not from the United States, but I've been in the pyramids, right? I've been in Mesopotamia. You enter the pyramids and you go in. It has the best ventilation in the world. You think there's like the hottest carrier air conditioning inside. No. There was a scientist among the Egyptian civilization who figured out airflow and purification of air. So once you are by the tomb, it's so cold. And you enter the pyramid, it's like 50 degrees centigrade outside. You go to where the tomb is, which now people don't let you go in. It's ice cold and there's not a single air conditioning. There's no power inside, right? So we think our civilization discovered everything. No, we're still far away from discovering. So not only am I a tech optimist, I'm living tech optimism. I look at what our data science team has done, what our AI engineers, I mean, they are predicting, it's like it makes Minority Report a movie that is real. Our team is predicting a job that is going to be posted in a certain location requiring this skill set by this company.
Yeah.
And our recall and all the fancy stuff is accurate. I'm like, oh my God, we can predict labor. And I'm living it. It's not that this is something that I look at the tweet or an X by Elon and so saying the jobs are going to change. This is real. I see it, live it every day.
Yeah.
It's fascinating.
So let's say that you're sitting in front of a young entrepreneur who like is very interested in some of the problems you're facing. Where would you advise them to spend time?
I'm old enough to have lived through the mainframe to PC evolution, the PC to internet evolution, and the internet to mobile evolution. The personal computers democratized computing.
Yeah.
Right? As in, like, it allowed a generation to either play games or write software anywhere in the world and at home, right? It increased productivity. The internet took all the information in the world and make it accessible. It didn't change information.
No.
It just took it, encoded it, and put it on a browser. What mobile has done is built a smart utility on top. You look at Uber, right? I mean, Uber, when I saw it, when the former execs showed it to me, I said, you guys are bullshitting me. Like, are you really collecting data from somebody? You mean that I'm gonna go into the cab, not have to pay and argue and get a fake receipt and whatever? The experience was beautiful, but it's a utility, right? What AI has done, it has democratized learning. Somebody's doing the research on your behalf. Somebody's doing the writing on your behalf, but it's not taking away your intelligence, right? It is making every human a manager and an auditor. So I would advise all entrepreneurs not to think about making AI gimmicky. Like, social networking's fun. Take a hard problem and solve it. Employment is hard. Health science is hard. Energy is hard. This is the time to think big. This is the time to think bold, right? Then you look at all the mundane stuff, advertising, retail, all this stuff, all ripe for disruption.
Yes.
Information, learning, education, things that we took for granted.
Yeah.
Wipe it out. Take a hard problem that we have assumed and taken for granted for thousands of years and disrupted.
I love that. Simon, is there anything that I haven't asked you that you think with this audience that you want to leave them with?
I would say I want to leave them with the feeling.
Yeah.
Every second matters. We in tech have been spoiled. During COVID, no one knew who showed up to work, who didn't.
Yeah.
We didn't lose our jobs, right? And we take things for granted. I mean, maybe 90% of the US population does not have that luxury.
Yeah.
It's a calling. I think the beauty with AI is that it reduces the risk,
Yes.
right? And I go back to basics. When the venture industry invests in entrepreneurs like yourself, like myself, like Jera, the founder and CEO of WorkWhile, they don't charge her interest. They invest in her because the return is high. Think of every worker in the United States as a startup. Invest in them. They have skills. They will generate the return. It's a feeling. I'm not talking about benevolence or donations or NGOs. This is the ultimate capitalism. Invest in people. They will return. I used to think I'm never going to achieve that feeling. You know what? I feel it every day at WorkWhile. Our NPS is 59 among workers. We have worker stories that if I say them, we'll go into tears. We have workers sending us notes saying, I feel like a human again. I feel respected. I feel I have a coach. I feel that you guys care. And you know what? We care. So I'm honestly living the dream of technology, which is making every day better for a lot of people. So I think it's a feeling more than it is a thought.
Simon, thank you so much for joining us. This was super informational.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Really appreciate it.